All right. Not sure how interesting this will be, but since I've been spending the last couple days doing it, I might as well do a video on it. I've been making little templates for different kinds of points. And I've been using cardboard, thick card stock, I should say. I've been trying to figure out how thick it is. It's about 3/32 of an inch. Yeah, it's not quite a 16th of an inch. So I bought this stuff at an art supply store, but it's very similar to what you can find on the back of drawing pads. Like if you get a mixed media drawing pad, the back of it's got that hard, heavy card stock. This is the kind of stuff. Although this one is thicker than what I'm using. Yeah. So this stuff is really good for making patterns, although it is a little bit stiff for cutting with scissors. So I have to use the X-Acto knife as well, especially if I want to do delicate work like on this one. And I put a little name on there. I mean, a name and a little bitty writing. This is a Calipuya. The black tip indicates that I can use this pattern for obsidian points. Okay, so I've made a bunch of obsidian point patterns that I stole out of the Overstreet guide. I'm using the 13th edition official Overstreet identification and price guide to Indian arrowheads. Okay, so I look in here and I can actually do full-size templates by looking in here. So like for instance, this one here, I'm slightly larger than that one, but it's okay if I'm slightly larger because I can just take it down by napping it a little bit smaller. So that's not an issue. And what I do is I'll write the name of the point style. Sometimes I'll put a date, like this Black Rock concave base. It's a paleo type. And Clovis. And these are from Obsidian examples, okay? Obsidian examples in the book, they have a Far West section in the Overstreet guide that has these samples. The Clovis is pretty standard in shape for most areas of the country, but some have more pointed tips and some have more constricted waists or constricted lower section. But the ones made of obsidian seem to be more robust and with a more rounded tip, probably because they break easy. Okay, and I cut little notches in the sides to indicate there's serrations on some of these. And of course the Stockton has square serrations. The other ones just have regular triangular shaped serrations. Right, so the Cascade has serrations sometimes. So what I do is I just keep in mind that on the ones that have serrations, I got to make them a little bit wider than the template, just in case the serrations need to stick out a little bit more than this. Sometimes I can just do the outline in stone and then put the serrations in and it still will be wide enough. But in some cases, like the Cascade here, it probably can't be more narrow than this. So I just got to make sure that I add a little bit of, or retain a little bit of width, put the serrations in. And this indicates there's serrations up here, in the middle, and down here. The stem on the Cascade is about that long, average. Okay, so some of these templates are average. Some of these are very long. For example, a Cascade blade can also be this size. So, but these are just templates to get started, and then I look in the book to finish them out. But this helps me to look for pieces that I have stashed away, nodules or big flakes or small flakes or blade-shaped flakes that I can make these out of. It makes it easier for me to choose what I'm going to use and what I'm going to make for the day. Okay, so hopefully this will make me more productive. And I got other stuff too. I've got stuff I'm going to do that I consider art points. If it has a red tip, it's an art point. And I'm going to make knives with this style of point. I've got different sizes. So these don't have to be obsidian. Okay. In fact, I'm probably going to use a lot of chert and Keokuk for this kind of blade. I think Keokuk is a chert. What I meant was heat treated Keokuk that I got recently and chert that I've got recently that I purchased. Okay, so in order to be conservative with the material, I made 3 different template sizes. Right. And then I've got these other little art point designs. This is just, I made the notches that way because it's easy to cut those notches. And of course, modern knife blades. Sometimes I have a large enough piece of chert or obsidian to make a modern knife blade of this size. This is 7 1/4, a little bit more. That's about the largest that I can make a knife blade. This is a normal size. Yeah, 4 5/8 is not too difficult to get material for. 4 5/8 by 2 inches by 15, 6-inch wide tang. Yeah. All right, so these are helpful in knowing what to choose. And these little art points. This one's based on an AG double notch, and this is just a doodle. Something easy to make. In case I wanted to do that. And I can modify this in different ways. I can put sharper barbs on it. I can make a pointed base, kind of like a perdice, if I wanted to. If it starts this way and I break off a ear, I can just make a pointed stem. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And then hunting triangle. I put red on it because, I don't know. I guess it's an art point. Just a hunting triangle like this. Standard size for me would be, 2 1/8 by inch. Yeah, so this helps a lot when I'm making hunting points and choosing the material and what I have available. I got some that are almost exact copies of what's in the book. Some of them have exaggerated lengths because they sell better if I make them super long. That one's super long example of a walnut canyon. This is a super long example of an AG double notch. This is a regular size AG. So, and I've got Washita Peño, another AG point. I'll be making some AG points when I switch back to chert and novaculite. Klickitat, I should put a black tip on this because it can be made of obsidian. But most of these I think are made from chert. Let me just check really quick. Okay, let me know. Let's see. Yeah, I should put a black tip on the Klickitat. Because it says here mahogany obsidian, but a lot of these are agate and chalcedony. CALC period is chalcedony. Okay, so you can see that I'm a little bit longer than these in the book because they sell better and they're a little bit bigger to make them less delicate. Yeah. I still got to ship these things out, so if they're super delicate, they may break when I ship them. I'm always afraid that if I make something really, really delicate, it's going to break in shipment. Anyway, let me put a black tip on there because I can use this for obsidian. Yeah, that'll be interesting. It said mahogany obsidian, so That's good to know. Let's see. This is an interesting point because the Klickitat has variations, several different variations to it. But I picked this style because I think it's a very cool looking style for that particular point type. Yeah, so I'll put it over there with the Obsidians. Everything else here is made from cherts or novaculite. The AG point is made of novaculite. These are made of cherts. And this is, let's see. This is just a general, really long 4 3/8 preform. Long, narrow preform. Yeah, so various points can be made from this preform. But this gives me an idea of what I can use. I'll go into my stash of rocks and see which pieces I can use for this. Yeah, it makes the selection process easier. And some people want me to make some Hohokam points of this size. So what I do is I start with a preform like this. I'll make 2 or 3 preforms in one day, let's say. And then the next day I'll knap the details into it, like the base, whatever it is, convex, concave, or straight, and then put the notches in and any serrations on day 2. Right. So on the first day, I'll make this. It takes a while to make a long, thin preform like this because they break very easily. You got to go very slowly. I made a quick Montel pattern because someone wanted me to make a Montel. Recently, they asked when I get back into chert, I'm going to make one of those. So I'd like to have these available. All right, so let's see. I'm going to show you what I do. I've been doing this for couple days, so I'm pretty used to it. The next one I need to make is the Elko eared. It's another Obsidian type. Right, so I cut out a strip. I think I can. Which one am I going to copy? I need to copy one of these. It looks pretty cool. That one there. Yeah, I'm within range. These are kind of big. So what I do is, since my width is good, let me check the length and cut it to one of the longer ones, since the longer pieces sell better. All right, so that's a little bit longer than the longest one. All right, let's see, the width. I'm within range on the width, but let me cut it down a little bit more. I don't want to make it too wide because then it's hard for me to pick. It's hard for me to get pieces that wide without destroying my good pieces. You know what I mean? I have a few good long pieces. I don't want to overestimate. Okay, I don't want to overestimate what I need and then waste one of the big long pieces that I could have made something else out of. Okay, so let's see. These are nicely, well, let's see, they cut in a little bit. First, let me do the arc on the tip. There, it has a nice gradual arc. It is kind of straight on a lot of examples. Some are concave down here. So let me just see what I can do about cutting in the notches a little bit. Before I make the sides concave. Okay, let's see. This helps me also with the template. It helps me to place the notches easier so I don't have to write or mark up the write on or mark up the stone itself. Especially when I'm dealing with obsidian, you can't really mark up the stone easily. It's hard to write on obsidian. All right, so some of these, see how the sides, they cut in a little bit, like right here. They're concave. I guess as they're resharpened, they get a little bit concave, and they might start out this way, but then they get this way when they're being resharpened. That's what I'm assuming. But I kind of like the concavity. So let's see. I think I'll just do it. Let's cut it straight first. Or almost straight. Okay. And then put a little concavity in the sides. Yeah. And then the stem is kind of fishtailed. Okay, and the notches are wider than this. A little bit. I've got one of those plastic cutting boards that artists use when they want to do stuff like this, so you don't mess up your dining room table. Yep. Although, once in a while, I'll press too hard on this, and I'm afraid I might go through the plastic, but I think it's thick enough that I don't have to worry about that. So I use the X-Acto knife to help me. Then I have to look at the width of the neck. Make sure I got the proper width of the neck, because that's important for hafting. I'm a little bit too wide on the neck. So let's make these notches a little bit deeper. And make the neck a little bit more narrow. The important thing is the basic dimensions. Everything else doesn't have to be perfect. The blade is already getting a little dull. And sometimes I can't get the neck this narrow because I'll stall the notches. These notches are pretty deep on the template. But it's good to have the depth already set up for myself. Let's make this a little bit more concave right there. Right, the Elko eared, it has more of a rounded, on some of these it has more of a rounded concavity in here. All right, let's see. Yeah, these concavities are rounded, like right here, these two. Black obsidian, both of those. I'm a little bit larger. Yeah. Actually, a lot bit larger. Anyways, and some of these are serrated, so I'm going to cut in some serrations. So I'll know that some of these have serrations. Okay. And then this can be used for obsidian points. Yeah. And then I write the name of it. Where is it? This is going to be Elko. Elko eared. Yeah. And it's a large one also. Okay. So there you go. The two styles I'm going to make, the Elko quarter notch and the Elko eared. Same basic design, but just the stem is different. Okay. So yeah, that's what I've been doing and trying to get the dimensions correct on these. I have a lot more that I could do, but I'm going to stop. After this video, I'm going to stop making these templates because I need to do some napping. I need to do some more napping. Now that I'm feeling better, my stomach ache is almost gone. Yeah. So there you go. That's it.